Greetings, my lovelies, and thank you for stopping by the circle today. As promised, I am delving into the long, tumultuous, painful, but also ecstatic writing process. And what better way to start off with this video than to talk about the idea? Because if you don't have an idea, do you have a story? So instead of going into the literally thousands of different ways you can come up with a story idea, I figured my time would be better served talking about some of the common misconceptions people have about ideas and how to go forward with them. So let's get started. Misconception number 1. But it's been done before. No shit, Sherlock. There is no story in existence that does not have some element from a previous piece. I'm telling you. If you ever take a creative writing class, there are literally units going into character types, character arcs, genre-specific things. Literally, it's all the same thing. So, let me show you with an example. There is a young orphan who has a power that they were previously unaware of. They are found and trained by a mysterious elder who has the secrets that they need. When it discovered that this poor orphan is the chosen one who has to defeat a great evil, and that they are the only one that can do this to restore peace to the world. Does this sound familiar to anybody? Because it really should. This is The Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Wars, and probably literally hundreds of other stories that I don't know, but those are just 3 right off the top of my head. You see what I'm saying? The basic premise of those 3 stories were exactly the same, but how they were delivered to us were completely different. So it doesn't matter if you have an idea that's kind of similar to something else that's out there. As long as you're not directly copying from somebody else and brandishing it as your own, you're fine. Just tweak it and add your own personality to it. I promise you, it's okay. Number 2. I don't have enough of an idea for an entire story. Now, I can't speak for every writer, but I can speak for the writers that I do talk to. No one has an entire story come to them at once. It just doesn't happen. Normally, we'll have a scene, a concept, a character, maybe even a bit of dialogue. And if it grabs our attention, we'll go, huh, that's kind of cool. So then we start asking ourselves some other questions, like, who's in this story? Who are the characters in this scene? Who's talking? What's going on? Why are they doing this? What's the point of it all? Where does that lead? So then where does it lead after that? But then what if this happens? You see what I'm saying? We take this little idea and we bury it into our little subconscious mind where it takes root and drives us crazy. And we keep asking what comes next until you have an entire story idea. Now, if you have a scene of something that happens like maybe in like a middle of a book, then you would backtrack by going, well, how did this happen? Well, how did they get there? Well, then how did they get to this point? And then you think the other way. If you have a climactic scene, then everything is going to be a backtrack to where you're like, how do I get to this point? You don't have to have it all in one go. When I started working on the Serpent's Coils, I took literally a year just for planning. I made the characters, the cultures, the worlds, and the basic story idea, and I'm still not done. But I keep asking myself questions, and then the story keeps developing from there. So that's all that you need to do. Number 3, I just have a character, I have no story. That's another fucking lie, because the Serpent's Coils came to life all because of Mira. Who she is and how she started talking to me, well, I'm like, hell yes, I need a story for this character, stat. So then I started asking myself questions. What type of world does she live in? Who are the people that she interacts with? What does she want most in the world, and how can I keep her from getting it? And guess what? I got a story out of that eventually. Number 4, it's just too silly. There is no such thing as a bad story idea, fan fiction. Have you read any of that stuff? Not only is it just, fan service and wish fulfillment, but some of the things that people come up with are absolutely bonkers. I mean, there's even biblical fan fiction. It's just ludicrous. But people love it. I mean, God, take Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That book and the movie is weird. It's so odd. It's so quirky, and it's so silly. I love Marv, the manic depressive robot. I want one of my own. But still, people love it. You know why? Because we don't always want to have the epic battles of good versus evil, or lovers torn apart to only reunite possibly in the future, or chasing down mass murderers and serial killers and all the other lovely stuff. But sometimes we just want to sit down and have a laugh. Sometimes silly books are the best books. I mean, Diarrhea of a Wimpy Kid is absolutely hilarious. Captain Underpants, absolutely hilarious. And they're just fun to read because you laugh. And that's okay. Humor is a whole genre in and of itself. And thing number 5, I have an idea or a few ideas, but I just can't write. That's not for me. Excuse me? You can't write? Have you ever tried? Ever taken a creative writing class? Ever doodled a little random idea down in a little short story? Never? Never? Why do you say that you can't write? Is it because you're afraid of failure? That's a legit reason. People fail all the fucking time, but that should never stop you from trying. Every writer out there has had to learn their craft. And that's what writing is. It's a craft, it's a skill. You're just not good at cooking. You just sort of either A, learn to do it over time, or yes, you may have had a natural aptitude for it, but you still had to develop it. So that's what you need to do with writing. Don't just go ahead and just shut yourself off as a person who can never write. You gotta at least try. Now, if you're scared of what other people may think of your writing and you're not ready to share it with the world, that's perfectly fine. I'm not saying to subjugate yourself to that. Do not give yourself anxiety over it. But even if it's just writing for yourself, go ahead and do that. What's the harm? Then you just have little personal stories of your own. It's kind of like a little secret. So that's all that I have for you today. Those are just the 5 common misconceptions people have about having an idea to start a story. The next time we meet, I'm going to go into genres and the key points that you need to keep in mind if you're going to stick to those, or if you want to blend and mix them, because hey, that is also an option. If you wish to continue this discussion on ideas, how to have them, how to cultivate them, or anything that I discuss in this entire 15 video segment, please come find me on one of my social media sites here listed below. I would love to engage with you and talk to you, and maybe even point you in the direction of someone who can help you out if I can't. Because hey, the writing community is huge and there's tons of wonderful, friendly people here, so come join us. We're all mad. If you like this video and the other videos that I do and want to help support me keep on doing them, please become a Patreon supporter today by following the link below. Patrons get early access to my rough short stories. Primarily right now we have Nameless going on. You also get character snapshot videos where I go in depth into my characters from the surface coils and anything else I have going on at the moment. There's also a Control the Writer segment for my upper tiers and a bunch of other fun stuff. So that is all that I have for you today. I will see you all later on the circle. Bye!